introducing them all. Starting with, he's part of a balanced breakfast. Please welcome Jonny Cruz!
All right. Hi. All right.
Oh, you want to do things?
I know. You do whatever you want to do. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, man.
Introducing next. She's the one that flies the skies. And she's sweet like ice cream. Please welcome the voice of Farrah, Jen Cohn!
Sitting, thank you. Hi, this is so great. Wow.
All right. I'm sure he's related to Optimus Prime. He is the voice of Wrecking Ball. Please welcome Jonathan Lipow!
Good morning. Welcome.
And welcoming last, of course. He is, well, the father of Winston and Hammond. Without him, they wouldn't be around. Please welcome the voice of Dr. Harold Winston, Greg Chun!
Yeah.
Stay in school! STEM, stay in school, science. Give me that. Oh, here.
Well, good morning to all of you.
Happy to be in Sacramento, guys. Thank you for the warm, loving welcome, for sure. You guys are
Seriously.
amazing. Oh, hey.
Seriously.
You guys all sleep well?
Who's asking?
Ventriloquism.
I know.
I mean, yeah. I did. My room was too hot. That always happens. So normal night.
And my room was too cold. It was, yeah. It was a little cold. I didn't sleep great, unfortunately. But
I slept pretty good. I woke up at 4, though. I had my thermostat set to 72, but it was 78 in the room.
you guys.
Hot, a little hot.
We're just hot boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you? Oh.
I slept really well, except I'm playing this silly game called Empires and Puzzles on my phone. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I woke up just instinctually to add heroes to my roster. And it was silly. But I'm okay. I'm awake. Are you awake?
Yes.
My throat hurts. This is my first con ever, and talking to just folks, thank you, for like a day, like your throat gets ripped. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna talk like really intimately.
Our quiet panel.
Very quiet.
Funny.
Well, they're just now waking up. Some people were like, yeah, oh, Johnny's here, Farrah's here, Jonathan's here, Greg, yeah. So we're gonna have a really fun one. We actually have some questions submitted online from fans today too, aside from what we have lined up. So let's go ahead and just jump into these ones, yeah?
Yeah, love it.
The next question comes from Sapphire281. Over the past year, they showcased some dogs with Overwatch themes to them, like little corgis and such. What kind of dog do you think your character would have?
Oh, man. I love dogs. Cats, puppies. What kind of dog, huh? Like a little sprightly dog that can rollerblade on walls. What kind of dog is that? Corgi?
Jack Russell?
You know what? Shiba Inus?
Yeah.
They're all like and smart. I like those. I'll say Shiba Inu. Yeah.
I like that. Farrah's a German Shepherd. Totally, right? Yeah, definitely. German Shepherd.
Norwegian elk hound. It's a. For those who don't know,
So
it's
specific.
no, it is. It's my favorite dog anyway. But it's very much like a Siberian Husky in size and appearance. But it's a very old breed, comrade to the Vikings of Norway for over 6,000 years, and it's not been messed around with a lot. So it's a good, solid dog. Norwegian Elkhound for sure.
You've thought about this question before.
He's been preparing his whole life.
Planning on getting one.
Dr. Harold Winston would definitely have a Rottweiler pit bull mix. You would think it would be some nice fluffy because he's so gentle, but it's actually the only time he loses his temper is with his dog because his dog is always screwing with him. So normally when he comes into the lab, he's all mauled up and has scratches and everything, and he thinks that's bad until the apes, of course. So.
Well, from that one, we're going to take a break from these ones, and we're going to go ahead and start into the Q&A.
A little walk to the mic.
Up next, we have a bachelor.
Before my question, I just wanted to say, as an aspiring voice actor myself, I think it's really awesome to see professional voice actors up here, and so thank you very much for coming out here.
Oh, happy to see
Thank
for
you.
coming
So
in.
nice.
Thank you for
So-
calling me a professional.
None of his directors do.
So my question is, are there any voice actors that inspired you, all of you? And who would they be?
I think every voice actor who's ever been asked this question says Mel Blanc. So I am definitely in camp Mel Blanc because he's unbelievable. And then I'm a huge fan of the South Park guys because they do everything and they're geniuses.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and I love being a utility player. Whenever I get my pick of what kind of job I get, it's to be a utility player and do a bunch of different characters. So that, yeah,
Awesome.
those two.
I mean, just acting in general, I've been inspired by a lot of wonderful character actors, right, over the years. And Gary Oldman's like one of my favorites because he would transform into like somebody where you're like, is that Gary Oldman? Oh my God, that's Gary! Like that was the type of actor I had always wanted to be, like for on camera. And I mean, just there was a moment for video games in particular I had though, because I think. As an actor, my focus was always like on camera, and then I kind of just happened to get into voiceover, and it was very difficult, I think, to find my own voice through it. But then when video games would come along, I'd be like, you know, they don't pay well, guys. I hope you guys know that. And so I'd be like, oh yeah. But Troy Baker was a friend of mine in Texas years ago, and he ended up becoming this like video game voiceover like just person that people knew and loved. I was like, how did you do that, Troy? Like, and in my brain it opened up this world. I was like, oh, this is not something to just kind of take lightly. Like there is a place for this for you to do well if you focus, right? And I think looking at him, I was like, man, Troy, you really did it. Maybe I could do it. Right? And there was a moment where I was like, well, anytime a video game, in particular voiceover, I didn't take it so lightly. I was like, what's doing what I would do with anything else? And so I think that was a big attribution to why I'm even here, was that little like moment for me to be like, oh, I should take this seriously. And it was me looking at Troy and his success and how he did it. So that's a very personal one for me. So.
I have a few. I'll try to be quick. First of all, Mel Blanc. For one main reason, too, he didn't just do an amazing range of voices. If you're a fan of Looney Tunes, he gave them personalities. He really embodied them in so much, in spirit, mind, and in voice. So he's definitely my number one. Also, Hank Azaria, Dan Castellaneta on The Simpsons. How many voices do they do? They're so much fun. They've also given life more than just a voice. And Robin Williams. Fantastic. I mean, just a brilliant actor and a voice guy. And also Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, he's great.
Yes, I gotta say, I really appreciate what he can do. And one particular role he did for me that really made me care more about him and voice performance in general was the movie I, Robot. Yeah. He plays Sonny. And that movie was good. It was
No
entertaining.
spoilers.
Sorry. No, but
You ruined the movie.
No, but when you watch that movie was a good movie. It wasn't great, but what was great about that movie, what makes me watch the movie again and again, is my compassion for Sonny and how wonderful he humanized that character. So I was like, that was a great performance. But anyway, yeah, those are 4 of the many that I. Yeah.
I'm a little bit of an unusual case, and this is actually probably interesting for those of you who are looking to get into voice acting at whatever age you're at now, because you're all so young. I was almost 40 when I started my voiceover pursuits, and so I didn't know I wanted to be a voice actor until very late in my career. You know, I was a computer programmer and then a music producer, and then I transitioned over into voiceover. So for me, the people who inspired me are actually, I'm blessed to have them be my contemporaries now, people like Matt Mercer and Fred Tatasciore. And, you know, back in the day, as far as cartoons went and Looney Tunes and all that, I actually didn't understand that those were not the voices of those actual cartoons. Like I didn't,
I still don't.
What? So what is that? I didn't get that there was an actual person doing those. So the concept of voiceover didn't hit me until very late in life. And so I'm inspired by all these guys and all the people that I'm just so lucky to actually work with on projects today. So.
Nice.
Can I add one more?
No.
I almost forgot. Believe it or not, D. Bradley Baker.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a creature champion, and I love doing creatures too, you may know. And just being able to work alongside him now with the character, incredible. Dream come true. But yeah, he's another one.
All right, that is great. And I'll share with my
Please.
favorites. No offense to you guys. Billy West, actually, is one of my favorites. Of course, Mel Blanc, too, but Billy West.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I got a question for you, Jonathan. Do you actually voice with D. Bradley, or you guys separate as well?
We separately recorded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And for those of you who saw the BlizzCon panel, and you saw D and I doing our little character together, it was the first time we ever did it together.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it was really, those are all organic responses, like, oh, well, that's weird, so crazy. Huh?
Yeah.
It
It
was
was
real.
funny, too. It was funny. You guys are
yeah.
funny. Yeah, great. Cool.
D. Bradley Baker, incidentally, is also Baby Winston. For those of you who didn't know.
Yeah.
Hi.
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 Huge fan. Sorry, freaking out a little.
You're blue in the face.
Breathe.
I can't.
Will somebody get her a paper bag, please?
I love all you guys. You guys are so talented. And I'm really excited to be here. If knowing what you know now about the game and the different characters, if you couldn't audition for the same character, who would you audition for and why?
I say this at every panel, but Matt Mercer just has this silky, smooth, buttery, delicious voice. If I could do that voice, I would be McCree.
You sure would, Pilgrim. You sure would.
It's just so smooth and buttery and milky.
Down, boy.
I'm
Nice.
sure he appreciates that.
It's an ongoing joke. I'm sure he hates it.
I don't think he'd appreciate it from you.
No, because that's how I say it to him.
He could be a little creeped out by it.
So fun. The only one I might have had a shot at, maybe, but Andrea Toyas and everybody at Blizzard didn't know that I speak French or do a good French accent. So, step into my parlor, said the spider to the fly.
Oh.
Like, I had a shot, man. I could have, but Chloe does it way better. But that would have been really fun.
Not sure, but I might try for Roadhog.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of Roadhog in there. I don't know, something like that. Kind of opposite of what I look like, right?
I guess what would make sense for me, I always say Zendaya, but that's not it.
Zendaya? Zenyatta.
Zenyatta.
Who?
Zenyatta.
Zenyatta. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. I mean, that one makes sense because, Asian, so. But honestly, I'd probably want to try for Lucio, but that's more because I just want to be like Johnny in real life.
We all want to be Johnny in real life, all
So
of us.
I want your life
I mean, it's pretty chill.
and your house.
All right. You can't have it.
Thank you.
It's mine.
Wow.
Hello
Hi.
again.
Hey.
This time with an actual face.
Oh,
Nice to see you.
Put a
All
face
right.
on.
My question to you all is, considering the game is a first or third person shooter, depending on your character, how would you feel if your character was featured in a two-dimensional little side-scrolling fighting game like Mortal Kombat, Smash Brothers, Injustice, etc. As like an additional character DLC.
How would we feel?
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, that would be sick.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
you
great.
have Lucio.
Sure.
But I mean, I grew up with Street Fighter. That's me. You know, just side-scrolling. Yep. Simple, right? Playing Overwatch, I'm like, where did he come from? Why did I die? I just spawned. And that's when at least it said, ready, fight. So simple. But I'd love it.
Great. I love it. More sessions, please. Great.
Yeah, that'd be great. Most of my favorite games are 2D side scrollers from the 80s. Yes, I'm older. But yeah, no, I love that stuff, you know. It'd be just fun just to play like,
Sure, you can.
I would totally love it, especially if it were something as violent as Mortal Kombat, because Dr. Harold Winston would be kind of freaked out by the whole thing. And pretty much he wouldn't attack. You would just have cower moves, like cower and defense, and all his quotes would be like, why are you hitting me? I'm a scientist.
He'd be like the Dan Hibiki.
A what now?
The Dan Hibiki of fighting games.
That's right. He just doesn't want to be there.
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So we're going to go back to the submitted ones.
welcome
this-
back.
Hold on.
Wait,
No.
Thank you, Jonathan. All right. So this one's called from Rocky68. Ooh. Have you ever used your skills as voice actors to pull a prank?
Any order? Okay. Well, let's see. Let's go back in time. Back in 9th grade, my friend and I got suspended from school for doing some mischief. Nothing too bad, but we got suspended, and my mom was a teacher, so she had similar hours to me. So I got home from school early, and the disciplinarian called to talk to my mother. And I answered, "Hello? Oh, what has my Jonathan done this time?
Oh no!
Oh, he'll hear it from me, you can be certain." And I had a conversation with the guy and hung up. And as I hung up the phone, the Pebble driveway and my mom's car driving in, like Neo in the Matrix. I got away. I told her about it 4 years later, and she hit me on the head with a wooden spoon, but she laughed.
I have that exact same story, but mine ended poorly. Because I got sidetracked. I was at home. I shouldn't have been at home. I picked up the phone, and I was like a little sick, so I was like, "Hello?" And then she's like, I literally said, "Hello." And then she goes, "Is Maritza in?" That's my mom's name. And then I go, "Yes." And I literally heard, "Really? This is her." I'm surprised I have a voiceover career, so.
I just had a really mortifying story. So I was on a trip with my entire family, so like my brother, my sister-in-law, my cousins, but my father, my mother, and my father was being really belligerent and harassing my husband about a business deal he was doing, and he wouldn't stop. He was like making all of us crazy, and we were all like, "Daddy, stop. Daddy, stop, stop." But he wouldn't stop. So finally my husband turns to me and says, "You know what? I'm gonna put him on the phone with my lawyer." And it's the middle of the night in Spain, and he shows me, and he's made up a name, Harvey Feinberg, Esquire, and it's my brother's phone number. So we go back to the hotel, and we all like go into one of the rooms, all laughing, and my husband is with my dad in another area, and they call my brother's phone, and I pick up pretending to be like the 50s secretary, and I go, "Feinberg Levine, how may I help you?" And my father thinks this is how the lawyers are gonna talk, and I go, who may I ask is calling? And what is this regarding? Is he expecting you a call? And we hand it to my brother, who proceeds to do an Oscar-worthy performance, like a virtuoso performance of a cigar-chomping 50s Hollywood lawyer, like improvs the whole thing, and my father completely, he had him going. It was unbelievable. "Herb, I can't believe it! You sound like a businessman! You sound..." And this thing went on and on and on. And we had my dad going until the next day, where I had to break it to him that this was all a phony phone call and that we were joking. It was like a little heartbreaking, but unbelievable. So, yeah.
I think I must have been maybe 9 years old. I was a fan. I also grew up in the 80s, and I was a fan of this band called Asia, which nobody knows who Asia is. Not even people who were my age know who Asia is. And there was this song called Only Time Will Tell that I just loved for some reason. I think they had this sort of 80s horny kind of thing. And so I called the radio station probably about, I don't even know how many times, and I would try and use a different voice every time to request this song. And this is back in the day before phones were free. Like, you had to pay for every call that you made, right? And so I would call and be like, hey, WXLC, can you play Only Time Will Tell? It's like, hi, I really love this song, WXLC. Could you play Only Time Will Tell by Asia? And eventually they played it, and I'm super psyched. And then the phone bill arrives to my parents, and it was over $100. Now, back in the 80s, that was a crap ton of money, especially for a young child to generate. So I got in a lot of trouble, but it was worth it. It's a good song.
Yay!
Hello.
You just keep moving. I was trying to get it.
Sorry.
I liked that joke. Okay, go ahead.
So this question would be for Greg Chun. So if Dr. Harold Winston was a playable character, what type of weapon do you think he would use?
I think he'd mostly heal people, but if he did have to have some kind of weapon, I would love it if it was just some wacky high-tech electricity shooting craziness that nobody would think of, or gas that would debilitate everybody. It'd be very gadget-oriented. It wouldn't be much physically, unless it would be cool, actually, if there was a rage mode where all of his anger from dealing with all of these, sort of ornery animals all the time, comes out, and he, hulks out. Then he can actually, bludgeon people, or there would be a skin where, you realize all he does is work out when he's not in the lab, and he's super yoked.
Yeah, super
But I think, in general, it would be device-driven, gadgets, James Bondy type stuff. Angry monkey move.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got some cheering.
Yeah.
Move it
can
out.
turn
Yeah.
it. There you go.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
I just wanted to say, when I first started playing Overwatch, I played Farah because I could not aim for. And I just wanted to say I love your voice lines, and I try to play when I can because it's on my brother's PC. So I haven't started the season because my brother won't go outside.
Oh my gosh.
I understand.
Wow.
You should talk to him about that.
I tried.
No, he'll go outside, but he'll take his Xbox, and play outside.
It's because our only gaming console, we don't own any consoles, we just own the PC.
Oh, the PC.
So it's a constant, when he's in the shower, I'll run in and I'll be like,
Quick play.
yeah.
What did you do with my SR?
Amazing.
Hey!
I just wanted to ask, Lucio, how are you so chill?
This is a deep answer. Me as a person, actually, in truth, I think chill is a state of mind, and it's a bit of letting go of outcome. I think a lot of times when we're not chill, it's because we have an expectation we're hoping that will be, whether it be get a job or somebody shows up on time, and we let those illusions create a world in which we're living in that's not real, right? And we're like, if I don't get this, I'm gonna lose my job, or I'm gonna end up on the street. So being chill is being able to cut off that level of oh my God, and just be like, I'm here and I'm present. What's up? That's my philosophical answer.
When did you get so
Good
deep?
answer.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here, guys. If you get in there. Okay, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, and thank you for what you said too. That was so nice. Take care. Yeah.
Get your own PC.
Hello.
Hey.
Check it out. You can take it out.
You're
Hi.
awesome.
Hi.
First of all, thank you for being here. Overwatch is my favorite game because it's the only game that I'm better than my brother at.
Yes.
Nice.
Awesome.
So my question is, I like Overwatch from an artistic standpoint because I'm an artist myself, and I just think it's a really cool game because it's really unique like stylistically and character design-wise, and it's just really pretty and aesthetic. So my question is there something that's unique about Overwatch to you, like as a voice actor, that you appreciate?
Good questions, good questions, good questions.
Certainly, as a video game, what I think makes it stand out for us is I think it's the first time that a video game, the voice actors, the people have gotten so invested in each of the characters and the characters' backstories, and because of that marvelous coming together of social media and this game, that we all have gotten to be connected to those characters and their qualities is so unusual and such a gift and so beautiful, and has made all of us have to rise to the occasion. And then we get the opportunity to come and meet everyone. I mean, it's brought everyone together in a really magical way. So that's something beautiful about the game that I'm really grateful for, and hasn't happened in any other game that I've worked on.
Yeah, I like the team aspect of it, where you're teaming up with people in all different parts of the world, get to interact with one another. It's nice. I guess artistically, one thing the voice directors and creators, I think, let most of us do is actually have a little bit of a say in creating the sound of the character and letting us bring our own little personalities into it. I know mine's more mechanical, but so am I. But I also think that particularly the Wrecking Ball character in Hammond, the fact that Hammond is this kind of overweight, adorable hamster with a temper, and then you have this very proper, grammatically correct robot, it's kind of a juxtaposition, which I think is a nice mating that makes the character more unique too.
I think for me, really, the thing about Dr. Harold Winston is that he's so much of who I want to be. Life can be such a pile sometimes, and it's really easy to let it overwhelm you. And I feel like even though Dr. Winston, you only see him really briefly in this whole sort of thing, his overarching message is very inspiring to me, and the fact that he is so hopeful and optimistic, I want to be more like that. And he really was the first character that I felt that sort of connection to, that inspired me to just be a better person, I guess. It's kind of heady, but that's what it is for me.
I think for me, what surprised me about Overwatch was the immense representation and acceptance of that, right? And I think it really moved the bar on what representation means to everyone, because it became such a thing. All over the world, people seeing themselves as a hero, right? Each different race, everybody seeing themselves in a strong, powerful position. And that meant a lot to me, to be able to play that. In all my years in acting and stuff, I've played similar certain things, which have been, a lot of bad guys, a lot of representation that's not ideal. But to play a hero, to play somebody that other people look up to say, I can be that, really meant a lot to me as a performer. So, yeah.
Building on what you were saying, the idea of it being characters of all ages and of all different body types and all nationalities and sexual orientations, and it's really an honor to get to be involved in a game that puts out such good messaging.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank you.
I like this Reaper just all the way in the back, just looking at me. Right there. Creepiest thing. He's just, hi. I love it.
Hi.
Hi.
So my question is for all of you, and it's if you could choose any hero in the current roster for your hero to have an interaction with, be it as a friend or as a foe, who would that hero be, and what would that interaction be?
Well, I would first love for my character to be playable. That'd be kind of awesome. And then clearly he'd want to reunite with these freaking lab rats that escaped on my watch and give him a talking to. Yeah, he'd have a scolding move. That'd be awesome.
Well, I think that Farah has a thing for German doctors, but I won't say any more than that.
I think that Reaper and Wrecking Ball might have a good conversation about death and destruction.
I would like to just have a conversation with myself and be like, "What's up, man? What's your backstory? What's going on? Tell me more about me, to myself." I mean, I definitely want to know a little bit more about Lucio. So I know there's stuff with Symmetra, that's with Vishkar and things like that. So I definitely want some more of that to come out, some story, and maybe a Diva trying to see what's really there. Is anything happening? That's not the reaction I expected, but it was a sweet one. And I also like is when Lucio's paired up with somebody who's super serious. Like the line with Genji is like, "Can I hook up my my speakers to your lights?" Or and then he's like, "Okay, just one time," like that. I love that. So kind of getting that odd pairing is. I'm looking for comedic bits to do with some of the more serious characters. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Little mini
Awesome.
Reaper.
Awesome.
You look beautiful.
Hi, I love you guys. As a voice actor, what has been your best experience?
Just as in a job,
Just
or
as like voice acting with like hanging out with other voice actors or in the booth or something like that.
I mean, there's so many.
Yeah.
Just this whole experience of like coming to a convention, meeting fans who appreciate the work that has been done has been mind-blowing. Traveling the world to meet you guys, the fact that we've all become such good friends. I've made lifelong friends because of this experience we're all sharing together, even with you guys. It's been incredible, and working in the booth on something that people. I've done a lot of in my life, if you check my IMDb. And to be a part of something that people connect with is just a dream. So, yeah.
Exactly what Jonny said. Exactly. This has been such an honor. I mean, this whole Overwatch ride has been so outrageous. As you were asking that, I'm like, right now, right this second. When you go into voice acting, it's not so that you can end up traveling and meeting all of these amazing fans and talk on panels, and that's not what the goal is when you do it. So if this ends up happening out of it, I mean, it's been so outrageous. It's been outrageous. I was saying I was at the Overwatch Grand Finals in Brooklyn over the summer. My brain exploded. I couldn't even believe it. Like DJ Khaled takes the stage, and there are tens of thousands of people, and it's mind blowing. This whole thing is unbelievable. So this.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I mean, I've only been in this little family for about 6 months, and convention-wise since the end of October. So it's real new to me. But this is by far the most remarkable experience of my voiceover career, just meeting everyone here and starting to travel more and get to realize how big this game is for people and how much people enjoy being in this universe. And I get to be a voice for a part of that for them. I think it's wonderful. But if I can bring up an experience years ago that was definitely kind of a cool moment for me was when I got to be in The Incredible Hulk. Back in 2008. And I grew up, I was a young kid in the 70s, very young then, but Lou Ferrigno's Hulk and Bill Bixby as David Banner. And I was like, I used to have blow up Hulk muscles. Like, they look like water wings in my swimming pool, like pumping up these muscles. I was real scrawny back then too. And it was just real cool. Then I get this audition for the Hulk, and back in 2008, and I did my character and my weird, like when he's angry and pissed off and all that stuff. And I got to do it, and they booked me, and I was just like, I got to work with Fred Tatasciore and J.P. Blanc and just be the Hulk and Abomination, not just watch it. I was pretty amazing.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything. I'm seconding everything that was said, and also, I think the reason why this is my first con ever, and the reason why I'm enjoying it so much is because I get to actually hang out with these guys. Like when we work, most of the time we're working alone, and we get to see each other in the lobby before you go in for your session or after you come out of your session, and. The coolest thing about this is getting to like put a face to these voices that I've known. Not only that, but every once in a while, especially if you get into animation, you do get to do ensemble records where the whole cast is there, and you get to record an episode of a TV show or something all together. You get to react off of each other as actors rather than just having the director feed you the situation and maybe a line reading and responding to that. So there's something really beautiful and organic about that that's really, really rewarding. But honestly, I mean, the best part about being a voice actor in general is the fans and knowing that somebody actually cares and appreciates what you do, and that's our lifeblood, I think. So it keeps us going.
Hey, can I expand on that real quick? The another thing, we are able to actually get feedback from you guys when you come and say hi to us and talk to us and tell us your feelings about the game and what you think about our characters. You know, you don't get to be on a stage and get applause when you're done doing a voiceover session. You're just done, and you walk out. The director might be happy with it, the producers and writers are happy, or maybe they're not, whatever. They let you know, but you don't really get that feedback from what the audience thinks, ever. But this experience lets us get that feedback from you guys. So it's really nice to get to know what you think, good or bad.
Hopefully good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good question.
Cool. Hi.
Hi.
So my question is for you guys, what is your favorite skin for your character, and then also favorite skin like overall? Would you what would you say?
You want me to take it?
Yeah.
Okay. For Farah, I am super torn between Mecha Queen and Asp, but I also am a huge fan of the Anubis skin because I love that skin too. So it's those three are really my favorites.
Obviously, Dr. Harold Winston doesn't have a skin. But I'm going to answer the question anyway.
Yes.
It'd be kind of cool to see him, like, maybe he was ejected into space and was captured by the Borg. Did anybody watch Star Trek back in the day?
Nice.
So could you imagine him coming back all freaked out with, like, a red eye and, like, a whole robot-y thing, and he's all, like, zoned out and zombie? Like, that'd be awesome. That'd be fun to voice, too.
Yeah.
I probably would have to say the Halloween pumpkin skin was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I like that one a lot.
I mean, it depends on what mood I'm in with Lucio. But I liked Ribbit a lot. And then, you know, when I'm feeling spunky, I got some jazzy in me, you know. And overall, I actually don't know the name of the skin, but I think it's Genji's like all white, like, what is it? Nihon. Yeah, that was just like all majestic. And I'm like, man, that's nice. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm also a Genji main, so.
Oh, nice.
Thanks for that.
Nice. Try Lucio.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I just want to say that I really appreciate you guys bringing up the representation part of Overwatch, because that's one of the reasons why I like it, and probably why I have like over 300 hours on Lucio.
Atta
Nice.
boy! Let's give him a round of applause.
My question is, Matthew Mercer came out and he said that he'll play Overwatch and use his voice to like trick fans and stuff. And I was wondering if any of you guys do the same, or if you know anyone else that voices characters that do that also.
Josh does that.
Yeah,
Josh Petersdorf does that. And he said that sometimes he'll do it and people will say, like, you suck at that. You're not so good. Like, which is so funny.
Yeah, Matthew Mercer said he had a similar reaction.
Yeah, that hurts,
Right.
guys. That hurts. That's right. Yeah, I haven't done it myself, but I think it'd be fun.
No.
Yeah. I guess you just kind of dread like, no, that's me. Okay, look, is there a video button? Yeah, but that's. I'd do it. I'd do it, but.
You should. It would be fun.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
I haven't done it yet. I haven't done that yet, but that'd be fun.
No, I mean, considering I just sound like somebody's dad, I don't think I could really trick anybody with anything, but someday.
You can yell at Winston
I
and
could.
players.
Yeah. We need Crispin around. Two of us could do a thing.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Really quick, if you guys don't mind, can I share that Josh story really quick?
Go for it.
So for some people who don't know this, so I'm a mod for his channel. I'm always with him on his streams and everything. So I play Overwatch
Roadhog.
with him. Yeah, Roadhog. And it was funny because he was doing a charity event, and he was going in there and he was doing his thing. And someone's like, he was first doing Winston's impression, and I was like, wow, you sound like him. And then he does Roadhog. Yeah, you don't sound like him. Love you, Josh. I just had to share that one.
That's funny.
Last question from the Q&A.
Hi.
So it's another skin-related question. If you could design your own skin for your character, what would it be?
I love this question. Yeah, I do. I love this question. So when I went to BlizzCon in 2017, I wore my absolutely beloved, wonderful flame platform boots. I love them. And several fan artists made pictures of Farah in flame skins. And I went to Blizzard and I'm like, can we please get a flame skin? So that's really, I want a flame skin for Farah. That would be so tough. That would be really much. That would be the wish.
I used to valet park when I was a teenager, and I parked a Jaguar that was a hunter green or forest green exterior with this beautiful tan leather interior.
It was my dad's car.
But it's always been a nice combination. Even if you got a Ferrari or a Porsche, it'd be a nice color. So I'd say a nice forest green metallic with some tan leather accents on it. Be kind of cool. Class them up a bit.
Roller skates and booty shorts. Just the tiniest little shorts you can get on Lucio. His eyes rolled. But I love it.
Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
You only have to mess with his hair. That's it. He has the lab coat already.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great question, man. So here's a good one as we're getting close to closing this. So this one's a out of Overwatch question for you guys. So for a lot of actors and voice actors, they have used their passion in voice acting to also elevate their other passions. You guys want to talk about some of those things, such as maybe TV shows that you've funded, or maybe music, or fashion?
Yeah, I think Overwatch is something that started in somebody's brain as an idea, and they carried that out to its full completion to what it is today. And I think we all have that ability and capability, but maybe just sometimes not the belief in ourselves that it can be done. And so I think for me, over the years, starting out, I wouldn't get the kind of opportunities that I'd like, so I started making my own little movies and shorts in an attempt and in a belief to say, hey, I can do this. And yeah, over the years, I created all these little web series. I directed my own feature and distributed it at some point, which was very amazing to achieve. But as I've seen it, I started with these small little steps. And so for me, creating is like, it keeps me probably also still being chill because I'm making something, and when you're making something, you're kind of living in that space and you're not thinking about everything else. You're creating something. And especially for me, I love comedy. I've been doing improv for many years, so I do the most ridiculous, goofy sketches and I put them out whether they're funny to anybody else or not because it makes me happy to mess with everybody else, and that to me is important. So like even for the past year, I've done a sketch a week on my Instagram, and it's kept me sane. It probably makes other people insane, but yeah, one of those things is Teenage Dad, which is like a little sitcom I made up for an Instagram story. I made a full-blown sitcom for a 15-second story, and that to me is like delightful to do something. So like, why are you doing that? Because it's fun and it's enjoyable and weird and a part of my personality that I get to put out there. So if you're into wonderful, wacky, crazy, weird comedy, come check out my Instagram. You'll either stay or leave and unfollow in a quick dash, but create, you know. And I think that, you know, it's something that we all kind of innately want to do, whether it's creating programs or whether it's making art or drawing. Like, I think these things are in us, and we're looking for permission to do them. But now we live in a place when you could do them at any time and find your own follower base. You find your own people, your own crew, your own community. So that was long-winded. But yeah.
I loved it though. It was
Thank
so
you.
good. It was. I keep on asking if I can have a cameo on Teenage Dad. I haven't
You
had.
got it.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I want a cameo.
I've used a lot of Overwatch actors because they're the ones who will work with me. So.
We work cheap.
Yeah.
So funny. Wow, that was so good. So my right-hand woman here at this convention, Dom, has been talking about this. So the pharmacy community came together, and a fabulous girl named Stephanie started a thing called Pharmacy-zine, and all of the proceeds of it went to LGBTQ organizations, for youth organizations. So fabulous. So fabulous. And Lucy Pohl and I were honored enough to be pulled in, and we printed out one of the prints by a fabulous artist named Becky Watson. And all of the proceeds of the print that I have signed and with her signature on it all go to an amazing organization called the Ali Forney Center, who they're based out of New York City, and they help LGBTQ homeless youth. And they're fabulous. So I'm really happy to promote that. Then that's only attached to this and to this beautiful community, and that I get to be pulled in to be a part of it. One of my resolutions for 2019 has been to start a Twitch stream and start a Twitch talk show. What do you think?
Yeah!
Yes? Okay, so would you all follow if I do this, when I do this? Okay, so that's definitely on the table. And then I have to get my butt back to my fashion consulting, because I've done barely any in the last year because I've been running around with Overwatch stuff. So I'm very excited to go to Paris Fashion Week at the end of next month. I'm very excited. So, and if you want to follow all of these adventures and all of this stuff, it's on Instagram at Fashion Dilettante.
So, questions about what our passions are and stuff like that? Okay.
Anything else you want to promote?
I'll promote.
Yeah.
Okay. Me, and me. Well, passions have always been creative stuff, and thankfully I've been blessed with family and friends that completely support my weird creative oddities and things that I like to do, which is wonderful. That's a big, hopefully you have that support system too when you want to do creative things. When I was younger, did made home movies, you know, in the forest, made Rambo and Indiana Jones adventures and stuff like that. And I recorded little radio drama type things on my boom box that had 2 microphones on each side, and I would slide the box. I was like tired one day, and I was laying underneath the piano, and I was sliding the boom box over to do one character in the right mic, and sliding it back to do the other character in the left mic, so it'd be like a stereo conversation. And when I played it back, it's like, you know, like,
okay, well, we're gonna go there, right?
yeah, we're gonna go there.
Okay, they're gonna do it.
I got the sliding in there. But also music. I love working on music, and lately I've been fortunate enough to have some people working on some podcasts, and I've been doing sound effects and voices, and also adding some music for some of the elements in there, some musical cues, so that's a lot of fun, and been asked to do that by some more friends. So there's a whole bunch of things like that that I really enjoy doing, and hopefully it keeps coming in.
Love it.
Yeah.
The cool thing for me about my voice acting career is that right before I was a music producer, and I wrote a lot of music for commercials and kind of came at it from a composer standpoint. So everything was just sort of about the music and how it accompanies the scene and all that. Now that I've been working as a voice actor for several years, I'm sort of getting a whole nother perspective on storytelling and getting the actor's perspective. And I think as a result of just working with media for this amount of time, really sort of getting the director's eye on things. So it's just sort of enriched my creativity as a musician as well as kind of as a voice actor. So they sort of, there's cross-pollination and they support each other, and it just helps you feel like you're growing as an artist in both arenas, which is really, really cool. And I think that, especially the way the business is nowadays, like having multiple passions is a great thing. To have different things to kind of take your time and attention, it just sort of, it rounds you out as an artist, getting different perspectives. And so now that I'm working more in musical comedy as opposed to commercials, I still do commercials and stuff, but getting to work with Lonely Island here and again, they're awesome, they're awesome. You know, Akiva is one of the three, and he you know, he pulls me into projects for Netflix. I get to write music for comedy shows. When Andy was hosting the Emmys, I got to write the opening movie musical for the Emmys with him. So there's a lot of kind of my voiceover career and projects, especially in the comedy realm, have informed how I approach things musically. So that's just been really interesting.
Awesome.
Love it.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Awesome. Well, first I want to let you guys all know that they will be going down to the photo ops for 1:30, and you'll see them back also in the autograph hall. And closing with this, I think I speak on behalf of everyone here at SacAnime when we say we thank you guys for your time and what you've given to the community. I know personally it's been a pleasure to get to know all of you, not just here, many of the Overwatch family. And I'll share this thing. Many of the Overwatch voice actors here and other ones have welcomed me into the Blizzard family because I am now a character in World of Warcraft. And
We love Jay. Yeah.
you guys are not just heroes in-game. You are heroes outside of the game for what you stand for and how you treat your community. So thank you for that, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Jay. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
With that being said, guys, if you guys could just stay in your seats.